Section 7 Overview. What is a matrix? How to construct a datasheet matrix. How to construct a timeline matrix. Section 7a Matrix. A matrix is a table view of information powered by queries that can be used to validate the information we have imported. Section 7b Datasheet matrix. The first example of a matrix that we shall use is a datasheet matrix. This matrix type returns chosen information in a tabular format and without calculations taking place. We must first create a new view under the #views element called datasheet/timeline matrix in order to show the matrix examples we are going to create. Having created the new view, right-click on it and choose Examine, followed by Matrices, and finally New. From the pop-up that appears, select Datasheet and then OK to proceed. In the title field, give the matrix a name. We are going to call the new matrix Subject Detailed Datasheet. And we are now in a position to specify the elements we are going to show detail for under the row query header. The row query uses the same query builder that has been covered in previous sessions. In this instance, we are going to look at the detail held for subjects. So change the starting point to elements and drag in the #subject element. Now add the Find Children block located under the Hierarchy option on the right hand side. At this point, if we were to select Execute from the matrix on the Home ribbon, then the names of all the subjects would be returned. However, we now want to take this a step further and provide further detail. To do this, we need to select the Edit Columns option and choose Add on the right hand side. Information that we can now display is shown on the pop-up with the option for users to choose Field Data, Relationship Information, and so on. In this instance, we will choose to view all possible data by selecting the uppermost arrow, which is above the line over Fields and just to the left of the pin icon. The items we are going to include in our table are Subject Tutor, found under Relationships, Next Course and Course Ends, both date fields, Cost per delegate, which is a numeric field, and Qualification, which is a pick list item. Locate and click each of these items from the list on the right hand side and you'll note that these appear in the columns section on the left hand side. Once you have selected each of these fields, click OK to close the dialog window and re-execute the matrix. And then finally, save your matrix using Ctrl and S. If you wish to change the format style of a matrix, this can be achieved by choosing the Matrix tab and then click the ellipsis icon to the far right hand side of the Colours option. The pop-up that appears allows users to change the style and appearance as desired by selecting one of the pre-existing styles from the Gallery section. This formatting can be further refined by selecting the Rows, Columns, Cells or Totals tab and making appropriate selections to amend font, fill style, line style, etc. Having now completed the matrix, close the newly created matrix by clicking the X alongside the name of the matrix you have created and save any changes if prompted to do so. Note that an asterisk appears on the tab header for the matrix if unsaved changes have been applied. We now need to add the matrix to the datasheet timeline matrix view we created earlier. To do so, first ensure the datasheet timeline matrix view is open. If it isn't, double click on the view to open it. Having done so, right click on General Matrices, found under the Matrices section in Libraries, then open and drag the newly created matrix onto the view. The pop-up that appears determines how the matrix will display. In this instance, we will choose the second option, add the matrix to the model, and then size and position the matrix on the view as required. Section 7c, Timeline Matrix. Now that we can see the key detail around subjects, we may also wish to see when they are scheduled to occur, so we can understand, for instance, if there are any conflicts in planning. The process for creating the matrix is like before, by right-clicking the datasheet timeline matrix element in the Explorer bar and then select Examine and New from the pop-up menu. On this occasion, we will choose Timeline Matrix and assign the title Subject Timeline. The row query should be the same as the datasheet matrix and will return all children of the hashtag subject element. In order to configure the matrix, we will use the General tab in order to set up the matrix as needed. For the date range, click on the dates displayed and then amend the between and the and dates to the fit to the data option. The final change we wish to make is to change the interval type to weeks rather than months. In order to produce the course timeline, we must now set the parameters of the timeline bars and milestones that are to be shown. To do this, click on Edit. Next to Bar, Milestones and Dependencies. Starting with the bars, select Next Course for the bar start date and Course Ends for the bar end date. To add a milestone, click on the milestone option and select Add a milestone, and then choose exam date for the milestone date to be taken from. Click Execute to produce your matrix. Next, add the timeline matrix to the datasheet timeline matrix view we created earlier. As a reminder, you'll need to right-click on General Matrices and select Open and then drag. Again, we will select the second option, add the matrix to the model, and then size and position your matrix as desired. Section 7 Exercise 7.1 Produce a tutor detailed datasheet matrix for tutors using all fields and the tutor-subject relationship. An example of how the matrix could look is now shown. Should you wish to adjust the size and width of each column, you're able to do so by dragging as desired. Seven point two. Add the tutor detail matrix to a view called Tutor Datasheet View. Having done so, your view could look something like this.